Welcome back to another episode of Operation Evil.
Ness.
I'm Nyoka.
Rachel. What?
And this is our fun drinking episode that really has nothing to do with what we normally do.
There will be evil talking about.
As she grabs the drink.
You know when it tastes like nasty and then it starts tasting good, then
You're in trouble.
you're in trouble.
We might have to pause some way through and fill up again.
They can listen to a song. They can wait.
Yeah, we can do
That
something.
was kind of rude.
What?
What I said.
That they can wait?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was rude.
This is really
You
sugary.
offered a song. Anyways, what we decided to do today
I left my drink on my glasses.
is read stuff from Reddit and react to it. There's a podcast that's pretty awesome that I've been listening to called Two Hot Takes, and they do Reddit stuff, but they do the Am I an Asshole category. And I'm not doing that category. I'm just doing randomness. So
Was it like paranormal stuff and
there's everything in here. There's
evil?
There's everything. So, the first one is, what's the most foolproof way to get someone to lose interest in you?
Clog up their toilet.
It reminds me of that movie, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yes.
Did you ever watch that one?
Yes. I love when she's like, Benji, Wenji, Benji.
That was good. So, what do you think is the most foolproof way to get someone to lose interest in you? She's having difficulties. Oh my god.
I don't know. Be boring?
Or maybe like if you take your calls but always talk to someone else while you're on the phone with them. So you're never like paying attention to them on the phone. You're always constantly having a side conversation that actually becomes like,
Yeah.
until they feel like
Like your face is in your phone the whole time.
maybe.
Yeah.
I'll go with that.
Or if you like Five Finger Death Punch. Just kidding.
No, she's not.
No, I'm not.
So let's see what other people said. Keep saying you need to run things by your mom. That's pretty good.
Mom, do you care if I put my foot up here?
I don't care. No, you go ahead. You get comfy. Let's see what somebody else says. I want to ride you like Sally. Oh, I'm not going to say that one.
That's a bad one.
I have an eyewitness who says otherwise. What? Oh, they're commenting on the mom thing. Okay, let's go to the next one. Date Wednesday? Sorry, I can't. Mom says I'm not supposed to stay up late on a work night. That's pretty good. Unless if you look old, that won't work.
If you look like you're 60,
Yeah.
but you're really 30.
Or if you say you're 30, but you're really 60.
Mm-hmm.
Stick around. Somebody said, I went on a date with a girl in her mid-20s and found out towards the end of the date her parents had been spying on us the entire time. Needless to say, I lost interest. So apparently that works. She said they had a key to her apartment and it's quite common for them to show up unannounced and let themselves in. Ooh. Let's see. Eat avocado toast. What?
I think it's like a California joke or something.
I guess. Uh, you can say you're not allowed to date until you're engaged and say your parents have arranged it already. Oh, man. Somebody said one time I made dinner for my ex. We were 27/28 at the time, and he wouldn't eat it because, quote, that's not how my mom makes it.
Oh my gosh.
I once told a girl she reminded me of my mom. It was the hair, but still. Oh.
There's an awful lot of mom involved in this
Yes,
answer.
there is. Talk about yourself only and never ask them anything.
Oh my gosh. And you could talk about yourself in third person.
Somebody said, worst date I've ever been on went exactly like this, with a 60-second moment of self-awareness that went along with the lines of, quote, oh my God, I'm just talking so much and you probably want me to ask some questions about you. That went straight back to talking about her. What? Longest Italian restaurant meal of my life. Oh my God. Let's see. All right, all these are like mom problems. So let's go to the next one. Do you agree with never go to bed angry in a relationship when you argue or not? And why? What do you think?
Oh, I think it just depends on the argument.
Well, when you argue in your relationship, what do you guys do?
Well, when I used to be really crazy, I would just pick at him until, like, I felt better. Even though, like, if he wanted to go to sleep or whatever, it was about how I felt. But now, whatever.
So
What
you
do?
don't. I mean, I would prefer not to go to bed angry because isn't
It would
there a
start your
thing?
next day bad.
No, but isn't there a thing people say like don't go to bed angry because you just never know, like tomorrow's never promised type of thing?
Like a die in your sleep kind of thing.
I guess. But that's not always feasible. Like sometimes you have to walk away from it and come back to it later.
Yeah, like cool down.
Yeah.
Sleep on it.
Sleep on it. So I don't know. I mean, I would say it would be nice if you didn't go to bed angry, but I don't always think that's a possibility.
It wouldn't be nice if you were like thinking about sticking a pickaxe through their head
Right.
before you went to sleep.
Exactly. So what about if you slept walk and did that or something? That would be bad. Let's see what other people said. Somebody said yes and no. The issue is if you're up all night arguing, you will be exhausted the next day. And if the issue isn't resolved, it will now be elevated by fatigue. I think that there is a point to go, look, let's go to bed and discuss more in the morning when we're rested. I love you, but I disagree. Let's get some sleep. Doesn't always work out that way. However, I've had better resolutions with rested partners than sleep fatigued ones. That's a good point.
It is, but I can't imagine being mad and being like, I love you, but we'll talk about it in the morning.
I don't know.
I'm like, bitch, I want to talk about it now.
No. Let's see what somebody else says. I'm trying to figure out if people, okay, I understand this now. Okay, so these are the comments on that comment. So we go down here. Somebody said, no. Sometimes what the fight is about is silly and in the light of day. If it isn't, then you can have that discussion without all the hot and heavy emotions behind it. Okay. Somebody said, bullshit for me. I'd rather take some time to think about my words and how I can think clearly if I don't have enough sleep.
That's a good point, too, though.
Yeah. Somebody said yes, because you won't sleep well and unresolved problems become resentments. That's a good point, too. Somebody said, in their 8 years of marriage, they stopped going to bed angry and everything drastically improved.
So maybe just over time, you find less things to argue about that are just silly anyways.
Maybe, because you get older and you just don't Like, I
You
don't know.
grow up unless
guess.
you're still jealous in your 50s.
Yeah, then that's a problem. Another person says if you live together, sure. Otherwise, it's kind of impossible standard to meet. And you won't do anyone any good forcing an argument to its end just because you're going to bed. The golden thing no one talks about is learning how to have an argument with someone you love. The idea is, do you rather win the argument or lose your lover, or the opposite? Compromise is an important skill to learn.
Yeah, I mean, compromise is a huge thing.
It is. Ooh, somebody said, I completely disagree. After 40 decades of marriage, sometimes we piss each other off. Whatever the argument was, really start for usually comes out later. That doesn't make sense. Okay, she does things that makes me nuts, and I provide my share. For those people who think that gosh, it's not me, it's this person's writing, will be a perfect communication environment where everything gets resolved with a healthy dialogue. Stop letting these, what does that say?
Pollyannas?
Blow sunshine up your ass. What? Somebody said 40 decades. Dang, Grandpa, spitting facts.
I think he meant 40 years.
Oh, and then he said, oops, 4 decades. Anyway. Somebody said it's a nice idea, but I don't think it's realistic. Wow, it sounds like what I said. No, we're not reading any Bible verses. Let's see. Making someone stay up with you until they agree with you is a sneaky form of torture. Sometimes an argument just needs some time and space to become a conversation.
Hey, that was me.
You just torture them
Basically.
until he gave in. Okay.
Well, until you hear the, I'm sorry, I love you.
Somebody said, never should you go to bed angry, nor having an argument angry. Get rid of your emotions first, but that can only be done alone, not together.
That would take some time.
Yeah. But it wouldn't be an argument if you weren't angry, right?
It seems like it would be more of a discussion.
Yeah. I don't know about that. Somebody said, hard no. I'm actually surprised by the number of yeses. I think cooling down is very important in resolving conflicts. Gives you some time to contemplate and get rid of stronger emotions / impulses. More importantly, I really need my sleep. And I don't think it's healthy to delay going to bed to have an intense and emotional argument. That will lead to more issues, as one party might concede just to end the fight and let resentment linger for later, and then you'll have a terrible night's rest and feel shit tomorrow. I feel continuing discussion to the next day gives both people a fresh start to explain their side and the other party to listen. Bonus argument. I have suffered thoroughly from age 14 until 23 due to my parents having loud arguments during bedtime hours.
Oh, I'm sorry, person.
Yeah. I can see that, how that could be damaging.
You know what? Gary has said to me, like, I don't want to argue because...
You might say things that you regret.
Or like with him, he grew up hearing arguments.
Right. And it's never pleasant when
but then
you're
on the
listening
other...
to it.
Yeah, well, then on the other hand, though, if you don't want to argue, then there's things you might just push down and not get out there.
Yeah. I think we'll end it on that one. I think that was a good one to end. Let's go to another one. How old is too old for trick-or-treating, which is perfect since Halloween is this weekend?
I don't think it matters.
I don't think so either. I remember being a kid and people were kind of like weird about that. If you were like a teenager, they were looking at you like, why are you trick-or-treating? You're too old for this.
I love it when you see those posts where it says, wouldn't you rather the teenager be trick-or-treating than out vandalizing or doing something bad?
Who cares? Maybe they just love Halloween. Maybe they're walking their sibling and they're getting candy too.
Well, and then sometimes too, you know, there's people that they may be 36, but mentally they are 12 or something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
or maybe they just want to dress up.
right. With
They
their
got
kids
nowhere to
or
go.
whatever. Yeah. Something to do.
Like, why do people care so much?
It's the same as going to a bank and getting a sucker, or like how we have candy at the desk.
Yeah. I say it doesn't matter.
cares?
Look, okay? If somebody's 50 years old and they knock on my door and say trick or treat and they're dressed up and they got a bag, I'm giving them candy. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
So rude. What's the difference between somebody taking their, like, babies that's not even eating candy yet?
Yeah, you know that baby can't eat a Snickers.
But we know mom needs that candy because she's up all night with that baby.
Mhm.
Let her have that chocolate.
Yeah.
Right? Let's see what people said. Somebody said, put effort in a costume and you could be
Yeah.
whatever age you want. Somebody said, the age you hit when you realize that you no longer like a large intake of sugar. Somebody said, I'm 27 and still not too old. Awesome. Another person said, never. If someone goes through the process of dressing up in a costume and walks around with a bag of candy, don't care if you're 40, you get a Snickers, man. That's my kind of people.
Just about everyone.
I don't care if you're 3 or 103. Knock on my door and you're getting a Snickers bar. Let's see. Never. Be a rebel. Screw conventional expectations. You show up at my door and say trick or treat in the appointed time frame. As long as I have supplies, you're getting a damn treat. Go you.
That one person there put 6,900.
You're right. 69,420.
Oh, you little devil, you.
Somebody else said, it was always seen as childish in our house when I was growing up, so my parents had me stop around 12. Now I feel uncomfortable being invited to and attending Halloween parties because I don't dress up and I hate it. Now I would say you're never too old. I'll give you candy regardless of age. How much of an asshole do you have to be to say, no, you're too old? Not to mention, I don't really want or need a bag and a half of candy to myself. Somebody else said, as a rule, if you are in costume and say trick or treat, you will get candy. Doesn't matter what age. If you're a 10-year-old, doesn't have a costume, then no candy. Personally, I was trick or treating up until I was 20 because when I turned 21, I started going to bars instead of Halloween.
You know, some people don't have money for costumes too. So, like some of those kids that show up in no costume.
Yeah, I'm gonna give anybody. We even have treats out for the puppies because there's always people walking with their dogs too. So
Aw.
yeah, be friendly, people. Anyway, somebody says at any
87.
age, 87, 87. At any age, apparently, I haven't had trick-or-treaters in over 5 years, and all I hear about is organized trunk-or-treat events. Never. Even when you're dead, you're equipped with a killer costume.
Even like, I don't know about here, but like where I live, a lot of the people go to the bigger subdivisions. Because like where I live is like a older neighborhood.
Yeah.
And yeah, all around us are like the more expensive subdivisions. So that's where everybody goes.
No kidding. Now, see, I live in a very small river city. Small town. The houses are super close together, and this is the place to trick or treat. Because I'm telling you, you're hitting so many houses, and you're only having to hit like 2 long streets here.
Yeah,
Done.
like it's walkable.
It's walkable. It's fast. The houses are close together. And yeah, it's pretty great. And I don't know. I remember being a kid and having to actually knock on every door.
Yeah.
Out here in my town, we're sitting out here waiting for you.
Yeah.
We're out here
yeah.
waiting. You don't have to knock on the door.
Or a lot of people like out in the subdivisions like by us, like they'll have like a little
Like fire pits and stuff?
Yes.
Yes.
They'll be sitting out there with their little chairs and stuff.
Yeah, like
In the
I don't
driveway.
remember people doing that, or
No.
not many people doing that. as a kid. And I
No,
don't know.
you're right. It was like you had to actually knock on nobody sat outside.
No.
Every great once in a while, somebody might have a little mini, like, haunted maze in their front yard.
Right. But yeah, I mean, I will tell you, this town is pretty awesome for trick-or-treating. Let's see, another person says the age of being an adult in your country. Somebody says 60 years because you can have the old people's ashes for candy. Oh my God. Oh, man. Somebody said 35. 35.
We're too old.
We're too old. Somebody says, as a general rule of thumb, it's appropriate to trick or treat through the end of middle school. Once you hit high school, it starts to get a little shifty and weird. Some people might not care, but most people aren't going to appreciate their 17-year-old pizza delivery guy knocking on their door for candy. I disagree with you. Disagree.
How old were you when you stopped playing with Barbies?
I think like 12.
What are you, like, 5th grade, 6th grade, something like that?
Maybe it was younger than 12.
I remember being in 4th grade and...
Probably 4th or 5th grade. So I guess probably
Did
like
you-
10.
Did you play school?
Oh, yeah.
I remember one of my friends was like, what were you doing? And I was like, playing school.
Yes.
And she's like, playing school?
Yeah, I would be the teacher. We'd have like a chalkboard and everything. I used to try to make up dances too. Like,
I did that too!
I would like have my boombox out and like pause and play. And I was, I would write it down like step by step.
Oh, no. I
Of
just
dance.
did like I was a cheerleader dancer.
Yeah. Did you ever cheerlead?
No.
I did.
You did?
I did. Can you believe that? I did for like 3 years.
Wow.
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Trick or treat. Trick or treat. Let's
Remember
see.
those overhead projectors
Yes.
that the teachers had?
Yeah.
You remember them things that, like, you would, like, write on it, and then you would flip the page up, like it would, you had, like, a plastic
Like
pencil.
a race.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I used to use those, and those, like, before they had expo markers, like, for the overhead projector markers.
Yeah.
I used to pretend that I had an overhead projector.
Hey, that's not a bad. Hey, you gotta do what
you gotta do.
I had all kinds of stuff. Oh yeah. I loved playing that. Let's see what the next one is. What was the last scene in a movie/TV show that hit you in the feels? I can tell you mine already.
You want to go first?
Yeah. So, I love Supernatural. There's 15 seasons, okay? And I've watched every single season. I have watched the entire series 4 times. And even though I know exactly what's going to happen,
It's still...
I still cry every time. And I don't mean like a little tear. I mean, I am bawling. I'm going through tissues. I can't breathe. I'm like, my nose, the whole 9 yards. I mean, it really gets to me. I am emotionally invested.
in that show.
Supernatural. And I need to start it over again. I need round 5. And whoever loves me has to love Supernatural because, like I said, I rewatched that entire series over and over
Was
again.
it not quite a year ago that you finished it again?
Yeah, that was number 4. What about you?
Last Thursday or whatever, I watched Grey's Anatomy, and there was a scene where Addison and
I don't know
Meredith
these
Grey.
characters.
Well, so
I need
like,
to watch this.
so Addison used to be married to Meredith's husband,
Okay.
and he died. So Addison, she had like gone away, went on another show, but it was all like same character.
Okay.
So she comes back to Seattle after it's the first time she's been back since Derek died. And it's like an emotional scene or whatever. And I don't know, it just kind of like
It hits you in the feels.
a little bit. But you know what? That damn song, 1,000 Miles, it's at the end of Twilight.
Yes.
That song gets me every time.
Well, there's just some things that do.
And that part in Sex in the City.
Which part?
Remember when Big stands her up
Yeah.
at the altar?
Yeah.
That.
Man, it's been forever since I watched that.
I could watch that movie over and over too.
Yeah.
Is there any other shows or movies that get you?
Yeah. I don't know if you ever watched A Walk to Remember with Mandy Moore.
Yes!
Oh my God. I cry
Yes.
like a freaking baby every time I watch that. And The Notebook. Same thing.
There's a movie
Cry
called,
and cry.
it's called Here on Earth, and it's kind of like A Walk to Remember. You gotta watch that one.
Tell you what, Nicholas Sparks is good at making people cry. Yes. And it's like, you know it's coming, but yeah, you do it anyway.
Acting skills.
Oh my gosh, it just tears me up sometimes. I'm trying to think what other. There's a few things that do get to me. Let's see what other people said. Grave of the Fireflies, just the movie in general. I don't know that movie.
I don't either.
The Breakfast Club, for some reason, also Perks of Being a
The
Wallflower.
Breakfast Club? Aww.
I know. that's
Wonder
cute.
why.
I don't know. I never watched Perks of Being a Wallflower, so I don't know about that one.
I can totally get what they're saying with that. Yeah.
The phone call scene in No Time to Die. I don't know this either. Warrior.
A lot of these movies or whatever I've never heard of.
Somebody just making up stuff. Lord Voldemort sacrifices himself so that Iron Man and Pac-Man could go save Jimmy Neutron from the evil shadows with all might. And then all of a sudden, the Guardian of the Sea started to use his stand the world and stop time. It was really sad.
Like I said, spoilers ahead.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow, they didn't say, another one I just thought of. Forrest Gump. My God, Forrest Gump.
Which
Gets
part?
me the end.
The very end?
The very end. No, when he's at the tree reading the letter.
Oh, when he's like, he's really smart.
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
my God, it gets to me every time I cry. All right. Let's move on. What are some red flags to watch out for in daily life? Oh, red flags.
Like what?
Lying. I don't know. What did other people say? You start reading and laughing. The guy that suddenly sits next to you in an empty train.
Look at
You know what? I remember being at like Burger King or something, and there's like no one in there. So we're sitting there eating, and the other person that happens to walk in sits down near us. There's a whole empty place. Why are you sitting right next to us? Why? I agree with that guy.
That's like when you're in a movie theater or something and somebody's got to sit right in front of you.
Yes.
Go away.
Go away.
Go away.
Forced teaming, when a stranger won't take the hint to leave you alone and continue speaking on the terms of we and us. It's okay to be blunt or even rude to someone who ignores you. No, or your other obvious indications that you're trying to separate yourself from them. Wow. There's not a whole lot of comments on this one. I guess it's too new. But I agree with these people that, don't sit next to somebody on an empty train. That's just weird. People that you catch them in lies, or people that talk about money all the time, or people that talk about themselves all the time, people that take something you say and make it about themselves.
Yeah.
Red flags. Yeah. That's all I gotta say about that.
What else? When you're walking in Walmart and someone's following you? I don't know.
Yeah. Let's talk about like red flags in relationships. I was married 4 times before. Probably a red flag.
I have kids, but I don't have any of them.
Probably a red flag.
I have 10 kids and I don't pay child support. I don't have a job.
Whole bunch of flags. Oh. People that don't like podcasts. Flags.
People who like shut
Red flags. Oh, there's so many. I mean, there really can be a ton of red flags. The big ones will have to do with kids, previous marriages,
Money.
saying that every ex of theirs is crazy.
Yeah.
Money, yes.
Always asking to borrow money
Yeah,
and you barely know them.
yeah. That would be bad too.
Or it's like a new relationship, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. They might be a serial killer for all you know. Who knows?
Or living a double life.
If they have a true crime podcast, red flag. I'm just kidding. Anyway.
If their name starts with an N, red flag.
flags. What is up next? What is the scariest movie scene for you, and why was it scary? Oh, I know mine.
What is it?
And it stuck with me for so long. And
I think I know what it is. I think we were talking about this the other
told
day.
you, yes.
Yeah.
In the original Pet Cemetery movie.
Oh, no, I don't know. Boo.
Oh, okay. So in the original Pet Cemetery movie, the wife's sister that's sick, that like there's a flashback and she's like in bed and she's like disfigured.
Yeah.
And like you can see her spine and everything, and she's just like, Rachel, you know what I mean?
She's grabbing for her.
Rachel. Like, that is the scariest scene ever. That one right there.
It just makes me laugh because Gary's got twin brothers. And when they were like 8 years old, they would be like, Rachel.
Oh my gosh. That was terrifying.
Well, in the scene too, like in the movie, like when the little boy gets hit.
Yes. Yeah. Well, what's your scariest scene? There's got to be something that was traumatizing for you.
Remember the one that I told you about the other day when we were talking about movies? Well, no, that wasn't really scary. That was more traumatizing.
It's okay. What was it? Go ahead and tell people.
It was a movie that was made, like, it was from Madrid, and it was like a home invasion movie.
Yes.
And there was a scene where it was a rape scene. And it was just, the way they did it was just terrifying.
I agree with you on those movies. I think, although they're not classified as like scary movies, those are more terrifying than your traditional horror
Halloween
movies.
or whatever. Yeah.
Things that can really happen to you. People breaking in your house and torturing you, raping you, whatever that may be. It's horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Like, I find it odd how people thought back in the 70s or whatever how the Exorcist movie was terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's easy for us to say, being what we see now.
Yeah, well, if you think about it, remember people thought Jaws was terrifying.
Yeah.
And it was for its time. So you got to think of things like that too. My aunt, she used to like torture me because I somehow, I don't know, I knew who Freddy Krueger was and all this stuff as a kid. And when I would spend a night at my grandma's, and I would be in the bath, and she was older than me, and she would tell me that Freddy was going to come up through the drain, like with his claws and kill me.
Like in that movie?
Yes. She used to tell
Terrible.
me that. Mhm. Yeah. Mean. Very mean. I used to think he was going to jab his claws like up through my mattress when I was sleeping. Like she really, yeah.
She got you.
She got me. She got me. Let's see what other people said. That one shot from the end of the movie, Sleepaway Camp. I don't know that movie. Do you?
I don't know.
Just looks like some 13-year-old girl's face on a 30-year-old man's naked body, and they use some fake prop or something that it gives me nightmares to this day.
I don't know.
I don't know that. Somebody else said, I saw this movie called Master, and every scene of it was scary to watch. I wish those audiences get well soon. I don't know that one either. For me, it's the scenes that are plausible. Think Green Inferno with the cannibalistic natives. Scares the hell out of me.
Do you know that one either? I don't
know. You know, I thought I was pretty good with movies, but I don't know any. Okay. Here's one we know. The scene in The Shining where the kid on the big wheel meets the twin girls. Come play with us. The Brave Little Toaster, the whole movie. You cannot convince me that it's not your... What is that? I don't know. Horror movie. I don't know. Sorry,
I wonder what that word means.
Let's Google. We're going to find out right now. It is dystopian.
Oh.
Wow, we were saying that completely wrong. It is an imagined state or society where there is great suffering or injustice. Okay. I love Google. When Ellie is going to turn the power back on in Jurassic Park, it's like the scariest part of every scary movie, except also unique in the huge...
Velociraptors?
or what's haunting her.
Velociraptors?
Here, let's put it in Google. Let it pronounce it correctly. I hope it records, like when you
Velociraptor.
Yes. See, kids, you don't drink in podcasts. There we go. Oh. The pictures, Lake Mungo.
What?
Girl in the Bedroom, Hell House, LLC. Yeah, I don't know those. Okay.
Oh, you know what is scary too, though, is The Strangers.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I watched that, if I even watched it at all. I've seen so many movies like this that I get them mixed up.
Strangers is that one where they're out in the cabin in the woods.
They're always in cabins in the woods. They are. Like the last cabin on the left or last house on the cabin. No, I was kidding. You know what I'm saying, though? Like,
Yeah.
they are. They're always
Yeah.
in a cabin in the woods.
There's that one
They're always
movie,
offbeat.
The Last House on the left, and then there's another
Yes.
one where it's...
The last cabin on the right.
There's the one from... Remember the girl that was... Never mind, I can't think of who the girl
On the
is.
OC. Remember the OC?
Yeah. I loved the OC.
Yeah, it was good.
I have all those videos.
We should rewatch. I
Or
watched it all.
DVDs.
It was good. It was good for its
Now,
time.
this movie had... Did you watch Bates Motel?
You know, I did. I didn't watch all of it. I'm super behind. I've only seen like 2 or 3 seasons.
See, well, you probably know then that brother. The,
Yeah.
estranged brother.
Yeah.
He was in the movie.
Okay. I still don't know which movie that is, though.
Dang. But anyways, that movie and then The Last House on the Left, I always confuse those 2 titles because they're so much alike.
They are. A lot of those movies are like, I get confused.
Like Saw.
Yeah, I have all of the Saws. Just saying. I like how creative they are.
Yeah.
Just like Final Destination's like super creative too.
Oh.
But they are.
They are, but
You're telling me, like, when you're on the road now and you see somebody with like a bunch of lumber in the back and you're not thinking Final Destination?
I can't help to think that. Remember the people that was in that Jeep or whatever, and the guy didn't have a seatbelt on, and he's like bobbing around.
Yes.
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 And the water bottle got stuck under the gas pedal or the brake pedal.
I always get worried about putting stuff in the floorboard.
Yes.
And it falling out. The bags always need to be tied because that can happen if the conditions are right.
There was a woman that she used to be a shopper at where I used to work a long time ago, and she had a car accident, and she had, do you remember those cars that were like I think it was like a PT Cruiser, but they were like a complete box. Maybe like a Scion or something.
Yeah.
Remember those cars?
Yeah.
She had one of those, and she flipped her car, and she had just bought a gallon of milk, and that milk beat the hell out of her face.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say that like in an accident, even a CD, anything like that can weigh like so much more. Like the gravity and the speed and it can really hurt you. Like any object floating around in your car, no matter how harmless it normally would be, is like 20 times more powerful. And I'm just pulling these numbers out of my bum. But it went something like that. It did. Next one. What is one superstition you cannot let go of? Does this even apply to you? We already talked about this earlier.
I would have to agree with what you said.
Which
the
was
knocking on the wood.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you don't knock on wood, it's to the point where I don't even think about it. It's an automatic, you're finding wood to knock on wherever you are.
Or like I'll even say something in my head is wood, and it's not wood, but I'll still knock.
Right. Yes. You do what you have to do. Yeah, that's definitely mine. Let's see what other people say. I have to cross my fingers. I have to.
Ah, there's another knock on wood.
Knock on wood. Salt
Salt
over
over
the
the
shoulder. Hold on. Okay. I won't tell my birthday wish when I blow out candles or if I throw a coin into a fountain. I'm right with you, whoever you are. Actually, all of these, I'm right there with you. Ooh, this is a long one. Let's see what it says. On a ship, I don't cut my head hair or whistle, and I only barely trim my beard. Cutting your hair pisses off Neptune, which brings misfortune. I've gone 90 days without a cut. Real truth is because cutting hair takes up water and alcohol rations, and top off, surgeons were often barbers. It's a very obvious reason that the barber pole looks red and white. Through the USA, it's red, white, and blue. It cut into the work time as being in the sea, and you had your watch, ration, sleep. Imagine being up hours on end cutting hair when you could be doing another important task. Whistle up on storm was another myth, and where anyone whistled, it would bring up bad weather. Truth is, it's effing annoying, loud, obnoxious, and some notes sound like a something whistle. I don't know. So only storm coming was people to whoop your ass. What? It goes on and on. So there's a whole
Sounds
lot.
like it's, he said they're marine. Not marine per
Where?
se.
Oh.
Oh, maritime.
Oh. I don't know.
Sounds like he was in the Navy or something.
Yeah.
Or...
I didn't know there were superstitions with that. Interesting. That's all that they said on this one. I'm surprised because, well, we've talked about it in past episodes. Like, superstitions are definitely big when I was growing up, and they're still big on my mother's side. So, what about you guys listening? Anybody else, grew up with this? I'd like to know. Comment, email us, or
Facebook us, Twitter.
us. Yeah, let us know. I'm interested. Okay, let's see what's next. What uncommon or unusual fear do you have as an adult? I have an unusual fear. Well, I guess it's unusual, and that is of basements. I fear basements. I hate basements.
Like, it doesn't matter what kind, what it looks like?
Unless if it's completely finished.
Where it looks like a
furnished. I am not into it.
Huh.
There's people under the stairs. No. But I do not like it at all. What about you?
Doll heads.
Doll heads?
Mm-hmm.
I saw earrings on like Facebook Marketplace where they're just doll heads.
Screw that. I swear, like, I don't care who or what you are.
Yeah.
I will fight you. You come at me with a doll head.
Is it just a regular doll head or?
Especially a Barbie doll head.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder what started that for you.
My cousin and my brother.
What do they do? Pop off all the Barbie heads and then throw them at you or something?
My aunt thinks it's because I had a doll that was hers, so it was really old, and the arm fell off as I was carrying it, and then just escalated. Ooh. But yeah, I mean, even today, like, I remember I'd walked across the street one time to a neighbor, and she had her granddaughter, and, like, she had this little doll, and the head popped off, and I'm, like, backing away. Get that shit away from me. Mm-mm.
Dang. I did not know that about you.
My niece, Kaden, she, when she was, like, so little, she would chase me. Not literally chase me, but, like, I would run into the bathroom, and then her mother would have to be like, Kaden, put that doll head up. I mean, it's funny now, but at the time, like, she's a kid. I don't care. I would have pushed her down, like, I'm cussing at her.
I would say the only other thing for me is I just feel so exposed just being in the shower. Like, I feel like anybody can break in your house, like break in the house at that time, and you're just there naked showering. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I got a good solution, or I don't know if it's a solution, but it might make you feel better.
What?
I heard it on Mr. Ballin. He said that this girl, she was taking a shower, and she went to, like, reach out of her shower to change the song or whatever, and she saw a reflection in her phone of a guy standing in her bathroom.
How is this helpful?
Okay, so wait.
This is not helpful.
So what she did was, she turned her water all the way hot, took that, the shower head, and, like, sprayed him with it, and just hauled ass out of the bathroom. So, you could turn the water on scalding hot and spray him.
See, this is what I'm nervous about. You're in the shower. You're having your own concert. You're doing what you do best.
I'm closing.
You changed a song and you see some dude.
You don't close your eyes while you shampoo your hair, do you?
Well, yeah, kinda.
Like, real quick.
Yeah. Why?
I don't know. It just seems like a thing, like, kind of scary to close your eyes, because then you open your eyes and then
you don't know what's there.
Move the shower curtain.
Yeah.
Boo. There he is.
This is terrifying. Basements and showers. All right, let's see what other people said.
Did you ever get scared though of like if you had like a door open, like your bedroom door or whatever,
Mhm.
and there would just be somebody standing behind it looking through the crack?
That would be terrifying.
That's a thought.
Or closets. Always keep your closet door shut.
Or do you keep them open so you can know something's in there?
I don't know, Rachel. You're putting ideas in my head and I don't like it.
That's why my closet, I just have a pile of clothes in front of it so no one can get in it.
Look at you being all smart. Somebody said violent riots. I am usually not confrontational and I feel like being caught up in a crowd of violence. And I
Huh?
fear of being caught up in a crowd of violence. Thankfully, I don't live in a very large city, so it's unlikely to happen near me. I am careful, though, when I go to protests and usually leave if I sense trouble. Crabs.
Crustaceans in general. Aww.
Worms and anything worm-like, maggots, botfly, all that stuff. Let's see.
Hallways?
Oh,
Have you heard of those
Well-
people that are scared of balloons?
yes. I saw that on or maybe it was My Strange Addiction. Maybe somebody liked balloons.
Yeah.
There was a balloon one, yeah. Somebody said, the older and get, the more frightened I am. I am scared of bugs, mice, bats, walking alone after dark, getting older, death, my own mediocrity, dogs, and other people in the club. As a kid, I didn't understand or care about the dangers of the world. But after so much exposure to horror stories on TV and internet, as well as experiencing some of my own, the world is a much scarier place than it once was. I think just when we're young, we're like, no, that won't happen to me.
Yeah.
But when you're older, you realize, like, yeah, that could have totally happened to me.
Uh-huh.
The hallways one's interesting, though. And I could see that, depending on the hallway.
Yeah, because that would be really rough because that's not really something that you could always avoid.
Right. And especially if it's dark
Yeah. And long.
and long, yeah. We got two more. This one is a paranormal one. It says, when I was 11, my dad passed in 2017, but for years I would have a reoccurring dream. It was me enacting exactly how he died before he died. It was me slipping at the top of our staircase and then not hitting a single step and flying down and smashing it into the concrete floor. I still cannot explain it. I have found at least one other person who's had a similar experience to me.
Huh.
That sounds horrible. To reenact exactly how your dad died before he died. Like a premonition?
And at that age, 11?
Wow. Okay, let's see what people are saying about it.
That's sad.
It is. Somebody said, I am so sorry that you lost your father. I think it's very traumatic for you, and that is why you are reliving it over and over again. Ask God for these dreams to stop, and maybe that will work. I am truly sorry that you are having these nightmares. I know that your father wouldn't be giving you these dreams. Somebody else said, I'm sorry this happened. My mother recently passed away, and I keep having reoccurring dreams that she is still in hospice and about to pass away, which she was. Maybe it's our brain's way of letting us reprocess everything. Okay. And one more comment. But this was before he died. He used to visit me in my dreams, and now he doesn't because I think he sees I'm doing okay.
Well, you know what? I've heard that a lot. Like, it's happened to me. It's happened to quite a few people where you're really down, and then they visit you in your dreams, and then you feel better.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he was dreaming this before that person died.
Man.
You see what I'm saying? Like, his
Yeah.
original thing said it was me reenacting exactly how he died before he died.
I wonder if this person has abilities.
Maybe. That's something. It's very interesting. But from what you're saying, I do think well, this is just my own experience and belief, but when you are visited by someone who has passed, I think that you really are being visited. Like, that's their way of visiting you, because it doesn't feel like your typical wake up, you get a dream.
Right.
It feels completely different.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know about you, but it was a feeling like instant relief or just feeling better.
Yeah. The one that stands out to me, I'll tell you my experience. My friend that passed away, he took his life, and I was devastated. Couldn't understand why would he do this. And I kept having the same dream. We're in the same place, and I see him, and then I try to catch up with him. It's always like a crowded space, and I try to catch up with him, and then he would just disappear. And this would happen night after night. I would get so close to catching up with him. Never did, though. And then finally...
So would you get closer every dream? Would you get closer? Or was it just the same every dream?
It was the same. Like, the same thing. I would always get close, but then lose them. But finally, one night, I catch up with him. Finally. And we sit down, and he's telling me that he made a mistake and he was sorry, and I don't know. I can't remember the whole conversation, but this is the crazy part. We're having this conversation, and he's talking to me, but his mouth was not moving at all.
Wow.
In my dream. That was kind of odd, right?
Yeah.
But when I woke up, I felt so much better and so relieved. And it just changed after that.
Wow.
I don't know. It was very different. And no one else can convince me otherwise.
Yeah. It is. You're right. It is just a unique feeling.
Yes.
That it gives you.
Yeah. He brought me peace in that dream. I don't know. I came to terms with it. And I felt better after talking to him about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like he knew that you needed that.
Yeah. Yeah. And he would show up every once in a while. Years later, he'd show up sometimes to tell me things, too, that were relevant. It was weird. But I haven't dreamt of him in many, many years, so I guess all is well. He hasn't had anything to say. Yeah, it's always interesting. But when you have scary dreams like this, I've had dreams, too, where people have passed away that were still living. And there were times where I wouldn't sleep for weeks. It was that devastating to me. Like, that terrifying. I would like purposely stay up. Yeah. You have anything more on that?
Never really had a dream like that, but like I would have like a recurring, like, you know how when you go to sleep and you're like thinking of something?
Mm-hmm.
Like it just runs through your head. I would have like a reoccurring thing where me and my cousin would be sitting on the side of like a mountain or like a cliff. And she has cerebral palsy. And she would fall off. And my wise-o aunt that just has the question or the answers to everything. She was like, it was probably because she never could walk. So maybe that was something that your brain was just trying to understand or whatever, you know?
Yeah. Maybe.
But I remember years as a kid having that reoccurring. But yeah, it wasn't a dream though. I was awake. It's like when I was trying to go to sleep.
So it was recurring thoughts?
I guess so, yeah. More like a thought.
Huh. Interesting. Or like a daydream.
Almost, yeah.
That is. It probably was you coming to terms with her. I don't know.
I can't imagine though, like
Or
that
feeling
person,
like you couldn't save her in something, or
Yeah.
do something for her, or I don't know.
Hopefully, that person though that
Is okay.
yeah, he's okay now,
I know,
or
I hope so.
he or she is okay now. Because at 11 years old, I mean, that just seems like that would stick with you forever.
And it apparently has. I mean, who knows? He didn't say if he's a he or she or how old or whatever, but it's obviously stuck with that person. And I understand that completely too. This is I'm ending it on a weird one.
We got to, because that last one was kind of sad.
It was. I need to. Okay, here we go. All right. This title is Found Porn on My Ex Online. Of my ex online. I recently found some porn of my ex online. It didn't appear that she knew it was being recorded. So I anonymously emailed her the link to let her know. The videos are gone from that site, which I hope means they're gone and she confronted whoever put them up. However, I am totally crushed finding them. I thought I was over her, but that really opened up the wound. Edit. Oh, we'll get back to the edits. We'll see what people say. Somebody said you did the right thing. Another person, absolutely this. Tough when the battle scars open up, but it's not always easy to do the right thing. Somebody said happy cake day. Happy cake day. I don't get it.
Happy birthday?
Okay. You are a good man. Somebody said, you'll get over her. It takes time. I thought I was over my ex from several years ago, but then I saw her at work and had a panic attack, which was terrifying because I didn't commonly get panic attacks, but you'll get over her. And I'm with somebody new and finally happy. I've also learned that things I thought happiness was weren't even close. Somebody said, I would get panic attacks even if I passed the car my ex has for the past 5 years. Oh, but I finally met someone and we've been together for almost 5 months and I feel human again. Life and love is so hard. But be strong and make decisions based on the future and you'll find yourself where you want. Just piggybacking on this comment, have a nice day, whoever's reading. Another person said, yeah, it's the wild and crazy ones, man, that are hard to get out of your head. They are such a thrill, but when they are in their crazy phase, it starts to make your life a little nuts as well, like riding a roller coaster without a seatbelt. So I'm glad you found someone calming. I need to find one of those and stop being attracted to the ones who I know will sometimes just devastate me. Somebody else said, that's awful for her, yes, but I'm sure it was painful to see this. I'm so sorry, OP. OP means original poster. You're a selfless. Gosh. You're a selfless and kind human for telling her. You know what I was just thinking in my head is like, man, after drinking, I'm reading all these pretty good. And then that happens. I'm seriously curious on how you stumbled across this. There's a plethora of content on the internet, and you just hit the worst numbers in history. That's true. Somebody said I had the same reaction when a friend of my husband stumbled across porn of a person they knew. She was the cashier at the deli. They went for lunch sometimes. The friend emailed the husband who did a what the fuck it showed me, and I'm like, what are the odds? Even now, I'm only 90% sure it was her, and it might have been someone who just looked at awful. I like her. It wasn't homemade.
It makes me angry that people post those videos without someone's knowledge.
Yeah, it's horrible. Let's see. Oh, this is not good. They're talking. Okay, I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, skip that.
Clicked on the search bar and typed girls that look exactly like my ex. What? Is that what he did? I found my ex just by going through amateur videos. I don't know.
What's that?
I don't know. Amateur. Okay. It happens, bro. I found my friend's little sister in Pornhub a few years back, completely randomly. And yes, it was definitely her. I spoke to her about it, but didn't tell my friend. Somebody said I found an old coworker. She apparently moved to Italy and became a porn star. I was just browsing some material and found her. I had to do a double take, but it was most definitely her. Somebody else said you're a good man. You did the right thing here.
Yeah, I'm glad he told her so she could get it taken down.
I'm sorry for laughing. I'm reading some of these comments. Yeah. So we'll just talk about this. So if you found an ex online, would you tell him? Especially if it didn't look like he knew.
No, because I don't even, like...
Know where your exes are?
Yeah. Like, I'd be like, who cares?
I'd be like, oh my God, look what I found.
Now, if Gary and I got a divorce...
Are you knocking on wood?
I'd probably tell him.
Yeah.
Would you tell? Would you tell Gary?
What I took?
Would you tell your exes?
Depends if one, I cared. Or, I don't know. And I think in this case, because it didn't look like she knew she was being recorded, I think he did the right thing by telling her. So
Yeah.
I would probably do the same thing. If it truly looked like they didn't know they were being recorded.
I think that's like crossing the line because you hear about those high school age boys who invite girls to parties,
Yeah.
and then record or send messages back and forth. They get in trouble for that stuff. So
Yeah.
why shouldn't these people?
Yep. But I think him sending it anonymously was key.
Yeah.
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 Because I wouldn't want to be like, hey, it's Nayoka, and I just want to let you know that this is what I saw.
Well, I mean, if I ever found a video of you, I would be like, hey, there's this video. Let's fight whoever and get this taken down.
Exactly. I would do the same for you.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So there it was, guys. This was our fun episode. And you're not going to hear this till Halloween is already done and over, but we hope that everyone has a great weekend, a good Halloween. If you liked this episode for something different here and there, there's a break, let us know. If not, that's okay. No problem.
It was nice to do a little, another little, like an easy one or like a lighthearted one because
Yeah.
the ones coming up are going to be hardcore.
Yeah, and the one we just did was pretty hardcore.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and thank you. Was her name Erica or Erin?
It was Erica.
Thank you, Erica, for your so nice comment.
I know, we've really
Thank you so
appreciated
much.
it. Yes, it was so nice. So nice. Made our day. Yeah. If you guys like us, tell a friend, have them listen, have them check out our Facebook page, our Patreon, our Twitter.
And if you don't like us, then tell somebody who might like us.
Yeah. Spread the love. We're all about love here. I think that's all we got. It's been a long week. On that note, bye.
Nighty night.